Hello and welcome to this blind taste challenge. This mid-morning taste challenge. I have two 40% alcohol, 80 proof Kentucky bourbon whiskeys. This is Heaven Hill Old Style Bourbon, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, Sour Mash Whiskey, and it is charcoal filtered before bottling. It is aged 3 years, and it has been rebranded recently to Quality House Old Style Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Same specs, they just changed the label, same bottle. I bought this liter bottle at a liquor store in Texarkana, Arkansas 3 years ago for $11.99. What a deal. $11.99 for Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey for a liter of it. So won't be beating that price anytime soon. Hadn't really been standing out, but that is a good argument for it because no, it's not better than the other bourbons I have, but it's no worse, but it's way cheaper. So here's the competitor, Bird Dog Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey. It doesn't claim to be straight bourbon, which is weird because there's no age statement, so we know it's aged at least 4 years. So why isn't it straight bourbon, right? People call this the Irish Setter edition because of the dog. It's bottled by Three Springs Distilling for Western Spirits. Now, the brand is owned by Western Spirits, and they do make a Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey now, as evidenced by their website. But they don't list this on the website, so I'm thinking it's probably discontinued. And that's probably why Walmart sold it for $10. When I used to see this at the regular price, like $27.99 or whatever, I didn't buy it. You know, it's got a tall kind of a E.H. Taylor, Eagle Rare type bottle. But when Walmart decided to get rid of it for $10, yeah, all of a sudden I got really interested in it. And that's what I paid, $10. I don't think I have enough left for another taste challenge, but we'll see at the end, but it doesn't look too promising. Maybe I could use it in some eggnog. You know what? I am going to do that. I'm going to use it in some eggnog. I have some new eggnog, and I'm going to put it in that. That's enough. Yeah. Perfect idea. All right. The Heaven Hill is clearly darker. It's copper. Whereas the Bird Dog is just barely amber, gold to amber. No age statement, so we know it's at least 4 years, but they could have used a very light barrel char. I'd like to show you a website for these, but there isn't any. I mean, there's Bird Dog website, and they show so many whiskeys. Most of them are flavored. That's what they specialize in, flavored whiskey, but that's not all they produce, but it's mainly what they make. Heaven Hill, they make so many products, many of which they never list on their website. Many of them are never listed. Many are, but I don't think they list Admiral Nelson rum. They used to, but I think they took that down. They might still have it. That's a pretty popular rum around here, Admiral Nelson. Usually the spice rum, but I do think they make a silver and a gold. Oh, they got so many, you know, so many brands. This company started back in the 1930s at the end of Prohibition. They brought in this old style. Now, why did they rebrand it? I think because they wanted Heaven Hill to be their premium and above premium products, and I think they wanted just their budget stuff to be all Quality House, which sounds like a budget brand, but it is quality. No joke. Quality House is actually quality. Like, I've had Quality House Kentucky blended whiskey. Oh, no, I had the Heaven Hill Kentucky before they rebranded it, so no, can't speak to that. I had didn't I have some Quality House? I think maybe I didn't. Okay, well, never mind. Maybe it's garbage, but I don't think it is. All right. Smells like bourbon. Sweet corn, little charred oak, little vanilla, a little bit of fruitcake fruit. Not a whole lot happening, but for $11.99 a liter, a whole lot does not need to be happening in my booklet. No aroma here, really. Dribbled it, splashed it. Oh, heck. All right, let me clean this up. I don't know why I did that. Just splashed it. Didn't mean to do that. Trying to save the whiskey, not waste it. Okay. Seems like there's always some kind of mishap with these live things. Not much happening here. All right, taste time. Cheers. Vanilla, honey or sugar water, charred oak, very light char. I think they're probably using a pretty light char. Medium body, dry finish. Nothing remarkable, nothing standing out. But for $11.99 a liter, I don't care. Come on. Come on. You're getting sleepy now. You've been up. This cat got up at 1:30 this morning. Before 1:30, I think. Right around 1:30. And been going wild, strong ever since. So I know she's getting sleepy. Why don't you just kind of calm down? You got your bath yesterday, huh? You didn't like, well, she liked the bath. She liked being in that warm water with the soap. But when I dry her off with the towels, when she goes crazy, like, I was like, there's no pain involved with that. I'm just wiping, I'm just brushing you off with a dry towel. There's no pain involved. But you know the way she acts, like, oh no. Stop biting my feet. Unfortunately, she's only 4 pounds, so I can't give her any flea treatment. She got to be 5 pounds. That's what the Hearts directions said. Got to be at least 5 pounds. I don't want to poison her. All right. Anyway, but she's doing all right. You know. You see that scratching? They got him. That Dawn soap helped, but I need the chemical. You know, but it's in the drawer, but she can't have it. Just go lay down. I know you're tired. This one tastes really bland, but not bad. Bland, you see, bland doesn't mean bad, just dull. Like Chivas Regal 12-year, it's kind of dull. It's a good flavor. It's kind of bland. This one is kind of ho hum, like you could say ho hum, but not a bad product. But you know, I would have never bought it. I'm just telling you the truth. I never would have bought it until they dropped it to $10. When they dropped it to $10, I bought it because, you know, $10 for Kentucky bourbon. But I still can't figure out why they don't call it straight bourbon. That's a mystery to me. Like Fleetwood Mac would say, that's a mystery to me. But not a bad flavor, but heck, you can go to this local pharmacy chain over here and they got Jethro T. Boots from Buffalo Trace, but they use an alias name on it, Legacy Distilling Company, I think. But it's Jethro T. Boots Kentucky Straight Bourbon. That's probably a little bit better, and it's the same price, a penny less. So, but I mean, you know, like David, my friend David says, life's too short for all these drab products. I guess he's right. He is right, but I mean, when you're paying pennies on a dollar for this stuff, can't really get mad about it. It's not hurting anything. Heaven Hill is better than just ho hum, though. It's like ho hum plus a little something more. Bourbon tends to be kind of the same. If you ever drink bourbon, they're all kind of the same. And you're not supposed to say that on the internet because people get so angry because they waited in line for like 2 hours to get their allocated bourbon. So those will be richer now, like the E.H. Taylor I tried. That's richer. It's got and the Blantons. It's got more elevation. You know what I mean? It's got elevation to it, but still, you know, bourbon. You say, well, what about the beer? You drank all this fancy pants beer. It all still tastes like beer, right? It does, actually. That is correct. But it's got more elevation to it, more unique characteristics like the Bourbon County brand stout. You're not going to mistake that for something else. And you better not if you're paying $21.99 for a single bottle. Well, no, for a 4-pack. No, for a single bottle, yeah, 16.9 ounces of that chocolate praline. Was it worth it? I mean, you know, it's not really worth it, but got to try it. Was the 4-pack of Bourbon County brand stout for $24.99 worth it? Do you really want to pay $21.99 for a 40-ounce bottle of beer, which is essentially what it was? 10 times 4 is 40. I did it, but I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But it's awesome. I mean, it's 100. The chocolate praline was like a 101 over 100. Amazing beers, you know, just amazing. Like Paul McCartney would say, maybe I'm amazed. Maybe I'm amazed. But and it's a game. All right. Well, I told you she was getting tired. She was getting sleepy. This was her last hurrah before she's going to be out for like 6 hours. She's still small and she's trying to grow. She is growing. She eats like a maniac. She eats that food. None better from Illinois, independent, family-owned cat food company, actually. She loves it. The seafood flavor. Probably old fish heads and fish guts, and they don't care. You give a cat a fish head, they'll be so delighted, you know. But and I knew a Chinese lady. I went to her restaurant one time. She was sitting there eating a fish head, and I was like, "Your culture is different than mine." But anyway, I knew she was getting wiped out. So it won't be long. She's up on the top of those comic book boxes, and she's on top of her towel. There's a towel up there. Make it soft, and she's going to be knocked out. Stanley Matuzek says Jim Beam is halting productions. I saw that yesterday morning. They're stopping production at their main distillery for a year because they probably calculated that they got a year worth of stock that ain't moving. Makes sense, right? George Dickel stopped their production. I know there was another big distillery that stopped their production. Anheuser-Busch shut down. They're shutting down 2 breweries and they're selling a 3rd. Hey, look. The bender is over. Alcohol sales are down, boogie down. You know, beer sales are horrible these days. Wine is in the gutter, and that's been going on for 10 years. Liquor is trash, the sales. So I think some of it has to do with people just not wanting to drink as much anymore, or some of the younger people going to non-liquid refreshment, if you get my drift. But they'll be sorry for that. They'll be wishing they had stuck with alcohol when they not when they're 27 or 37 or even 47, but when they're 57, yeah, they'd be like, man, I should have just stuck with beer. Now look, the show is over. No encore, right? I think this Heaven Hill has more character. This is the Heaven Hill. Oh, it's the bird dog. I feel so decimated, instigated, ameliorated, castigated, not to mention infuriated. And just like the Beatles, I dig a pony, because you could syndicate anything you want. And look, I thought I had this nailed. This is one I thought I had nailed. This Heaven Hill Old Style Bourbon has confounded me to no end, because I cannot figure it out. It doesn't taste different from anything. It's like Ronnie James Dio. Anything it joins, it becomes like, if it's in Rainbow becomes Ronnie James Dio. If it's in Black Sabbath, it becomes Ronnie James Dio. Like, it overwhelms any band it joins. And in this case, this bourbon overwhelms any bourbon it joins, meaning it all tastes the same. But you say, well, why are you giving it a good score? I mean, it's just average. I said that at the beginning of the video, but it's average bourbon is good. Like, your average bourbon is an A. Let's be honest, bourbon is an A. So I paid $11.99 for a liter, so it's ipso facto, it's a winner, and so I'm happy. I'm not happy about getting it wrong. No, I'm not happy about that. But big deal. Bird Dog. It's probably not even produced anymore. I saw it at Walmart. They got rid of it for $10. I bought it. Yes, they could still be making it. It could be one of these outliers that is still being produced, but they don't list it on the website. Goodness gracious, Sazerac has about 1,001 of those. You'll never see it on the website, but you go to the store and it's like, well, there it is. I'm looking at it. The bottling date is last month, but they don't acknowledge it. They just stick it out there, and people buy it. You know, Crown Rus vodka, Crown Rus premium vodka with natural flavors being a good example. Crystal Palace, another good example, and just like I said, 1,001 more examples. But am I disappointed in buying the Bird Dog? I'm not disappointed, of course. You could say it, if you want to get techno, you could say it won this taste challenge, because I could not tell it apart from the Heaven Hill. I paid $10 for this regular size bottle. But then on the other hand, I paid $11.99 for this liter bottle. So that's a balancing act. Western Spirits, not exactly a well-regarded bourbon company. They're around. They've been around for at least 15 years. Most of what they make is flavored stuff, you know, blueberry, blackberry, might be like some kind of cream liqueur, like bourbon cream. Everybody likes to do those, which they're always good. But, you know, Bird Dog is usually flavored stuff, but they do have some regular whiskey, but it's just generally not what the money is coming from. Heaven Hill, well, yes, they have a lot of flavored stuff, like Carolyn's Irish Cream Liqueur, for example. But they mainly specialize in bourbon, straight bourbon of various brands, some expensive, some cheap. some mid-range, but they've got their hand in tequila. They've got their hands in rum. They've got their hands in brandy. I said their hand in it. I don't know if they actually own those brands, but they are invested to an extent that they practically control it, Vodka, yeah, they're involved with vodka. Gin, they got their hand in that. Yeah, so you name a type of liquor, they're involved in it. And they've been doing this for 92 years. And I talk to their representative 2 or 3 times a week. He works for them. He works for the distributor here, the local distributor. So yeah, of course, he's going to be trumpeting it. I can't blame him, but he's always telling me about, we got this new barrel pick. And I'm telling him, I say, remember, I've got 18 bottles of bourbon unopened. I've got 18 unopened bottles of bourbon that I have to process through. He's like, oh yeah, that's true. He said, but I was just letting you know. I said, I know, but if I bought every barrel pick and special edition you told me about, I would basically have a room full of bourbon. What would that accomplish, right? All right. So I got a couple of more challenges to do. I don't know how it's going to work out. I think it's going to be even Steven, so to speak. But I have a couple from Buffalo Trace / Sazerac, same company, Buffalo Trace, Sazerac. But I've got the famous, or some people would say infamous 10 High, which went from straight bourbon to blended bourbon, now bourbon with natural flavors. Pretty soon it'll be so cheap that they'll pay you to get it. In other words, you don't have to pay for it. They'll pay you money to drink it. It'll go into a negative zone. But I have that, and I have Stedman Select, the original Stedman Select from 2018. Oh, there's the Kansas City Southern. Eastbound and down. Oh, they just pull in one little car. They're going to do a drop off. And I have the new Stedman Select, which I have to get to. All right. Anyway, so that's it. Y'all take care, and see y'all. Tomorrow, maybe, depending. No, I got to go to church tomorrow for Christmas vigil. No, forget it. Never mind. Tomorrow ain't happening. Aside from a Christmas miracle, and then Thursday it's Christmas Day. Maybe at dawn, because there ain't a whole lot happening at dawn except Santa Claus is finishing up his presents for all the little boys and girls. So I saw Santa Claus next door the other day, 2 days ago. I saw Santa Claus in that yard, and he was walking with a bicycle, a black bicycle, and he was putting it in a secret location. And I said, look at Santa Claus with a black bicycle. Looked like it was made for a 6 or 7 year old. I said, boy, that little sneak. He almost looked identical to the person's parents, to the little kid's parents. Couldn't have been his parent though, because Santa Claus is coming to town. All right. Anyway, y'all take care. Bye-bye.